Okay, today we're going to check this topic, the simple past, irregular verbs, okay? But first, we're going to check the structure of the simple past, okay? So remember, we always have an affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and questions, okay? So I want you to help me with the structure. For example, in an affirmative sentence, what is the first thing you have in the structure of the sentence?
Subject.
The subject, right? Okay, after the subject we have
The verb.
the verb in the simple past. And after the verb,
Complement.
the complement. Okay, very good. So we are going to try to form a sentence using this structure in the past. What do you think? We can say, for example, the subject is going to be John. John, what kind of sentence can you write according to the picture here? John bought, very good, bought
A house. A big house.
a house, right? Very good. Then we have the negative sentences. How do we form negative sentences?
John didn't buy a house.
Okay, so first we have
The subject.
the subject. After the subject,
Didn't.
what is didn't?
El auxiliar.
Auxiliary verb didn't because it's in the negative form. And after the auxiliary verb didn't,
Infinitive verb.
the verb, not always in the infinitive form, because sometimes we change a little bit. We are going to say the present or the base form, yes. And
Complement.
the complement.
Complement.
Okay, so what is the negative sentence of this one? How can we change this sentence to the negative form?
John didn't buy a house.
John didn't buy a house. Very good. And what about the question form?
Better be.
Yes, first the auxiliary verb, did. After the auxiliary verb,
Subject.
John,
the subject.
the subject.
After the subject, the verb, not in the past anymore. And then the complement, right? What is the question for this sentence?
Did John buy a house?
Did John buy a house? Very good. Sometimes we can add these WH question words before the auxiliary verb, okay? And we can say, where did John buy a house? Why did John buy a house? Or when did John buy a house? Of course, you can choose any WH question word here, okay? These are just examples. So this is a structure that you use for the simple past or the past simple, okay? Do you have any questions about this part? Any doubts? Okay, so now we are going to talk about the verbs, okay? In the past, well, in English, we have three forms of the verbs. For example, we have the base form. This base form is the one we use in the present simple, right? The base form of the verb. Then we have the past form, okay? Sometimes the past form could be regular. It means that it finishes in ed. It finishes in ed, the verb finishes in ed, and they can be also irregular. We need to change the verb. Okay, and then we have the past participle form. This form is going to be used in the present perfect, in the present perfect, in the past perfect, in all the perfect tenses, okay? Sometimes the verb can be similar to the simple past, and sometimes it can be different. For example, drunk, drank. Okay, but today we're going to check the regular verbs. Sorry, the irregular verbs, okay? So the difference between regular and irregular verbs is that regular verbs follow a fixed pattern, okay? Todos tienen la misma estructura. Eso significa que le añadimos de, ed o ied al final del verbo, okay? And the irregular verbs don't follow a fixed pattern. They don't have a structure that we need to follow. And they cannot be formed by adding fixed characters. Okay, no podemos formarlos para añadiéndole solo algunas reglas. Ok, entonces solamente lo que podemos hacer es aprendérnoslos. Ok. Here we have some common irregular verbs that we are going to be using. Here we have the base form, say, go, come, get, give, become, find, think, eat, see, okay? And we are going to try to remember the past form of these verbs. For example, the past form of say. What is the past?
Said.
Said, right? Very good. Recuerden que en presente se pronuncia say, pero en pasado ya no se pronuncia say, sino se pronuncia said. Okay? Very good. Here we have the past of go is when. What about the past of come?
Came.
Okay.
Came. The past of get?
Got.
Got.
Got. The past of give?
Gave.
Gave. The past of become?
Became.
Became. Find?
Found.
Found. The past of think?
Thought.
Thought. The past of eat?
Ate.
Ate. And the past of see?
Saw.
Saw. Very good. Okay. So here we have some examples. For example, the first one, it says, yesterday my mother said, I'm tired. Can you give me an example with said? Talking about the past?
The teacher said we have homework.
Yes, the teacher said we have homework for today or for tomorrow. Very good. Any other example? With said? No? What about the next one? It says, last weekend, I went to the cinema. What about your example with when? What can you say?
Last month I went to Cochabamba.
Yes, very good. Last month, I went to Cochabamba. Any other example with when?
My cousin came to my house.
Okay,
When?
this is for the next one. My sister came to my house last Saturday. Yes, you can say my cousin came to my house. Ariane?
Teacher, disculpe también, last cambia.
¿Cómo?
Last, último. Cambia. En una
No.
oración.
Ay, sorry. Aquí me falta la T, ¿no? Thank you. Wait,
Okay, thank you.
I didn't realize. Okay. No, it doesn't change. It was just a typing mistake. Okay. The next one, we have get, got. Luis got up at 8 o'clock this morning. Okay. What about got? What can you say with got in the past? Any ideas? With got?
Maria got dressed at 11 a.m.
Very good. Maria got dressed at 11 a.m. Very good sentence. Any other ideas? the idea is that get can be combined with many different words, right? Any other example with get, got?
I got a lot of homework in the last weekend.
Ok, last weekend. Recuerden que cuando utilizamos last, no necesitamos decir de. Por ejemplo, acá, last weekend, last Saturday, no decimos the last weekend or the last Saturday. Ok, solamente last. Very good example. The next one, we have gave. My father gave me a present for my birthday. What can you say with gave?
I gave you a gift for your birthday last week.
Okay, yes, very good. Any other examples? No? With gave? What about this one? Became. Henry became the king of England in the 18th century. Became. Convertirse, volverse, convertirse en realidad.
My
Yes.
brother became a teacher.
Okay. My brother became a teacher. Very good. Mhm. The next one, we have find or found in the past. I found a very good job. What can you say?
I found the answer of this question.
Very good. I found the answer of this question. And then we have thought. Melissa thought that the homework was for Monday. Thought. What can you say? Thought, pensó, pensé, pensamos.
I thought the answer for a question.
I thought the answer
For a
For the-
question.
for the question. Okay. Mhm. And then we have ate. Carlos ate an apple this afternoon. What can you say about your lunch? What did you eat for lunch? What did you eat for lunch?
I ate pasta with chicken.
Okay, very good. And the last one, saw. I saw Shakira on a TV show last night. What can you say with saw?
I saw Dorama.
I saw.
I saw Betty La Fea this afternoon.
Yes, you can say that. Okay, very good. So here we have in your book, page 67, exercise number 6. Look again at the text and find the affirmative simple past form of these verbs. For example, what is the past form of have?
Had.
At
Had.
Had.
Very good. Read.
Wrote.
Read.
Red.
Read.
Read. Read. The written word is exactly the same, but the pronunciation is different. Red, como el color, más o menos. Buy.
Both.
Bought.
Bought. Aquí no se pronuncia la U. Ok, bought. No bow. Ok. Get.
Got.
Very good. Okay. Let's move on. The next one. Find the negative simple past form of these verbs from the text. Which verb form do we use after didn't? For example, what is the negative past form of have?
Didn't have.
Didn't have.
Didn't have, right? So we are going to write this. Didn't have. What about the next one?
Didn't make.
didn't make.
Didn't make. And the last one,
Didn't use.
Didn't use.
didn't use. Very good. The question says, which verb form do we use after didn't? Which verb form do we use after didn't?
Present.
The present or the base form, right? Very good. Okay. Let's continue. Here we have on page 126, page 126. Exercise number 2. Write the sentences in the negative. Okay, so here we have the sentences. They are in the affirmative form and we need to write them in the negative. We're going to do this together because it's really easy for you. Matias Marquez, what do you think is the negative for the first sentence? I had breakfast this morning. What is the negative form?
No lo hice eso, teacher.
But do it with me. ¿Cómo formábamos el negativo? Ok, yo se lo voy a escribir acá y usted luego va a seguir la fórmula, ¿ok? Primero teníamos un sujeto, subject. Después del sujeto teníamos auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb in the negative form. Recuerde que este tiene que ir en forma negativa. Luego teníamos el verb, the main verb, in the base form. In the base form, and then the complement. ¿Ok? Esta es la estructura que debe utilizar. Vamos por el
I didn't have
I
breakfast this morning.
I didn't have breakfast this morning. Very good. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Okay. Let's go with number 2. Daphne, please.
We didn't read the newspapers yesterday.
We didn't read
Newspapers
papers
yesterday.
yesterday. Very good. The next one, please, Carla Fernanda. Number 3.
My dad didn't make dinner last night.
My dad didn't
Didn't make dinner last night.
Very good. Didn't make dinner last night. The next one, please, Jorge.
We didn't buy a color TV in 1970s.
Very good. The next one, please, Nelsie. Number 5.
I wasn't at home on Saturday.
I?
Wasn't at home on Saturday.
Okay, very good. And the last example, please, Alejandra.
My parents were on vacation last week.
Yes. On vacation last week. Okay. Very good. Como pueden notar, cuando decimos las expresiones de tiempo con last, A ver, last night or last week. No necesitamos decir the last night or the last week. ¿Ok? Solamente last. Very good. Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta sobre este ejercicio? Okay, let's go to the next one, number 3. Complete the text with the past of be or the simple past of the verbs in the parentheses. Okay? So you are going to do this alone, and then we're going to check together. Okay? You have 2 minutes. Number 5, please, Davinia. I want you to read until computers.
They didn't buy many things and there weren't any computers.
Very good. Didn't buy many things and there weren't any computers. Let's go with the next one, please. Santiago, can you finish the text?
But people read books and children had toys.
Okay. And people and children?
Had
What did you say?
toys.
Had toys. Okay, very good. Any questions, any doubts about this exercise? Number, Ariane?
Teacher, ¿por qué en la 3 there wasn't y en la 6 there weren't?
Okay. Because in the first one, we are talking about singular, right? When we talk about singular things, we use was or wasn't. And when we talk about plural things, for example, computers, we use were or weren't, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, very good.